I've been hearing some noise. Oh my goodness. What are you? Oh, and you've brought a friend. Okay. This isn't weird. And another one? What's this? You saw me putting trolls into resin. Right, okay. Oh, okay. And you want to be immortalized in resin too? Okay. Sure. I mean, why not? You're cute and all, and you're pretty sweet. Fine, okay, no problem. We will put you in resin. Hello everyone and welcome to NERDGOBLIN Art. I'm Lula. Now, we've got some friends. Aren't they sweet? Do you remember having these as a child? I did, along with my trolls actually, and I quite loved them quite a lot. And it's Froggy FriYAY! So, we're gonna immortalize these guys into a froggo. So, let's get started. My resin is mixed up ready and I'm using Teexpert resin today, and I've got number 6 and number 3 of the non-stick glitter from Intoresin, and we're going to pop both these colours, not too much. I realised I thought it through this time. So I put a titchy little bit in because this stuff really does go a long way. And I'm going to mix that in nicely. Now the resin has already been through the mixer and I've already given it its little stir around, because as I always say, and I'll say it in every video just in case you're new, when you have a mixer, regardless, always make sure you stir and scrape around the sides and the bottom of your cup to make sure all of your resin parts A and B are thoroughly mixed in. And look at that glitter, so sparkly. So like we did with Space Octopus, we're gonna do with the froggo. We're gonna I'm not putting eyes in the frog this week. I will see to the eyes later. So we're gonna pre-dip these little wormies into the cup of resin that I've popped by there, and I'm gonna obviously put in some resin into the froggo. We're not gonna need all of this resin because the wormies will, science and all that shebang, the volume and stuff, it'll force it up. So I'm trying to hazard a guess. I've not filled it all the way to the top, but you'll see. I end up having to empty some regardless. So I pre-sprayed the frog mould with some isopropyl alcohol, and I'm just giving a quick zap with the glue gun. But the glue gun? Seriously? The heat gun? But it wasn't too bad, to be honest with you, but we will see after this. Bye-bye. He's happy to go, honestly. He is. He wanted to. He wants to be immortalized, just like the trolls. They told me this at the beginning. You saw it. You saw. Okay. So, I dunked him in this resin. Oh my goodness. And I sprayed him with isopropyl alcohol as I pulled him out. I don't know if this is going to work, but it's going to be a great bit of fun trying, isn't it? And I'm trying my best. I don't know if it has worked, not until we demold. At this point, I haven't actually demolded in my editing because I've left it overnight, and I thought I'd get ahead with my editing. So I'll be as surprised as you when we come to demold. So I'm just making sure, I want to make sure that the eyes of the little wormies are looking up, like at the top of the frog's head. I don't know if I've managed to do that, or if it manages to move around a bit, you know, as the resin is curing. So I'm just getting my silicone tool around and just trying to encourage any bubbles up. There's probably going to be bubbles galore in the top of this. I'm not going to be surprised, basically. So another whack with that, not the glue gun, the heat gun. And after putting the first one in, I realised that we were only going to be able to fit 2. So that little one by there, you know, I decided that I wanted the more contrasting greens together, because the other guy, he's more of a bluey, greeny, kind of tealy. So, and as he's a frog, I wanted to put the 2 greens in. So this guy has had his little bath. I dropped it. Oh, look at it. Oh, soggy guy. And he had a spray of isopropyl alcohol as well. So just trying to squeeze him in. And I did put a little bit too much in, although I didn't fill this mould, because like I said, I was wary of displacement and, you know, the resin rising up. So I do have to take out a little bit of the resin. And then I end up having to put some more in anyway. It's just typical for me. So this is just a little game now of playing, balancing it out and making sure the worms, they don't actually really want to float, but they will stick up a little bit, which is fine because it's the bottom, so I don't mind on that one. But I did have to take some of the resin out just to make sure I was placing I had the room to place them, and then I have to add it, you know, add some back in afterwards. So I'm going to leave you. No, I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to bounce away for you to listen to some music while I'm faffing about with this bit. And I'm also going to add some glitter. Now, this was an afterthought because I wasn't entirely sure. I was winging it, basically. And I had the idea to put them in, but I didn't think further than that. So I do put some glitter in, some greens and stuff. So you'll see that it's lovely anyway. So enjoy some music.
It's Froggy Friday, time to hop. With green and blue we never stop. Red and yellow join the fun. Ribbit, ribbit, everyone. Frogs in hats and frogs with shades, leaping high in neon parades. From lily pads to city lights, party frogs and flashing nights. Jump, jump, it's Froggy Friday. Splash and dance in our own way. Colors bright and spirits high. Frogs are partying under the sky. Glow sticks and funky tunes. Frogs go wild beneath the moons. Purple spots on orange skin. The frog fest about to begin. Fireflies like a froggy stage, as dance moves break free from the cage. Croaking loud and croaking clear. Froggy Friday filled with cheer. Jump, jump, it's Froggy Friday. Splash and dance in our own way. Colors bright and spirits high. Frogs are partying under the sky.
off you pop, little froggies, back in your pond. So as you can see, I've added some more resin and I've been going between these two glitters. Now I found these glitters on Temu. I got them a long while ago. So just type in, you know, if you happen to look, just type in green glitters. So you, my little friend, get away with it. I think after watching he didn't like the idea of it anyway. So I'm going between the very bright green and this more green and goldy. They're really pretty actually. I'm expecting a lot of it to sink and I don't really mind too much, not really. I was more interested in making sure I had stuff in the feet and in the toes, because as I said, winged it, knew these wormies wanted to go in. You know, they did surprise me, they did come out of nowhere after all, you know, it was quite a surprise. So it was the afterthought. Yeah, I'll go with that. It was an afterthought, so the glitter's an afterthought, yeah. So just trying to, you know, encourage bits of the glitter into his little toes and to the arms, you know. And if it does when it does sink into the arms, I'm not too bothered. And of course, always making sure that we have none of those stinky bubbles under his chin, and we'll keep an eye on it as I'm still working. Okay, next bit. I knew this was going to be happening. I got these, I picked these up from Amazon. They arrived just the other day. Arrived just in time for me making this video actually. So I've just pulled out the lime flakes from Let's Resin. So I'm just going to burnish those into the top part of the wings, and then I'm going to go for a golden on the bottom part of the wings. I just decided to go with colours that are in the glitter to try and match it up a little bit. Obviously, the last but one Froggy Friday was my Frogafly, and those wings were from a Christmas decoration that fell off the tree due to cats. So I thought I'd order some to make, and this is what we get. They're smaller than I expected, but as usual, I wasn't paying the greatest amount of detail. Yeah, I wasn't paying the greatest amount of detail. I can't remember the words. Attention to the details. Oh my goodness. So I am investigating other wings as well, but again, these might be all right. They might not be too bad, because you don't want them overtaking all the time. So, but I'm still going to get different ones. I think bat wings and stuff will be cool, and dragon wings and stuff. Obviously, we've got the dragon, you know, the Fragon from Ben's works that he's done. Anyway, so I want to back this with black resin. I realised that one wasn't open yet, and I had one open over on my shelf. So that's just the Let's Resin black mica powder, which I'm going to pop in there. And just want to say thank you to my subscribers. You are all awesome. I really love it when you come to my premieres and you're in chat. I love the comments, the likes. You're awesome for doing that. But just in case you did wonder, I do have memberships as well. And with those memberships, you get access to NERDGOBLIN The Albums, volumes 1 and 2 now. 2 is new this week. You get behind the scene pictures. I've just done a little tour, just a 5-minute tour of my studio space, and I share pictures, and you get at least once a week you'll get an early access video, and I will be bringing out monthly member exclusive only videos of smallish makes, painting, stuff like that, which is going to be going on from February. So if you fancy that, give us a join. It's only £3.99 a month, and that's for all levels. But if you are unable to pay for that, don't worry, I really appreciate you regardless, especially for the likes and comments. It really helps my channel and I appreciate it. So we have filled up that little mould. The wings were a little bit shallow towards the bottom, so just be wary of that if you do happen to get this mould or fancy getting this mould, if you're inspired by this make. So I just moved the resin down with my silicone tool. Words are hard. Words are very, very hard apparently. So we've got a little bit of resin left there, enough for this little froggo. We can't not do a baby froggo anymore, can we? Now, since I've got these moulds, we just got to do this. We've got to do them. The other little froggo is busy in another mould for another thing. So I'm using the Let's Resin Fuchsia. I think it's the Fuchsia one. I will double check and let you know. And I've just burnished that in. It's a lovely one. It is a really lovely colour, and I think most people do have that one. So just the very last little bit of that resin, which should just be enough for this little frog. And once again, because I've burnished in, you can't or shouldn't pre-spray your mould, because the isopropyl alcohol can, you know, have you lose your colouring. I sprayed the cup and then the wings and the other froggo, but not this one. It's a little mould. It's not exactly the same as the big mould, obviously, because it's a smaller size. So the arms are slightly different, and so are the legs. So just be wary if you do get this mould. And it is also a matte mould. I've mentioned this in the last couple of videos that I've used him in. So if you do want him shiny, you're just gonna have to bite the bullet and do a covering of UV resin afterwards, or a gloss varnish if you happen to have any. Just make sure that you covered it over good. So I need to use the silicone tool as well, just to make sure and encourage any of the resin into those toes, because it likes to sit, it just likes to sit at the end. My table is level as far as I know. My spirit level says so. You can't see it, it's out of shot, but it does say that it is level table. And also, just as the same with the big frog, you also need to check your bubbles underneath the froggy's chin. So there we go. We did it. I think I mixed up. I think I did the 8 fluid ounces. So that took the frog, the wings, and little frog. So there we go. Right, these are cured. It's the next day. I decided to be good and leave them for a change. But it's the next morning. So this is our little froggy. Remembering that it is a matte mould. That's really nice. I really like that colour. Just went on a bit of a speed up. Don't know what happened there. But we'll have more look at the froggy because we're going to be giving him a covering. Now I've sped this part up because I am a bit hurty. So I was taking forever, as well usually does take me just a few moments. Seemed to take an age trying to get this froggo out. There was a tiny little bit of overage and that was it. So maybe that was why it took a little bit longer than it usually would. But yeah, hurty day. So, and I also didn't want to cut my fingers because I've done that a lot lately when demoulding things. So over the thighs, and once you get them out like that, it's really plain sailing. So here we go. our wormies. Let's see. And go. Forgive the wobbling, I was giggling. You can see the eyes, just that one there, and the other one's just round the other side, but the eyes are still moving. If you shake it, they wobble a bit, which it puts me in mind to actually fill a frog with goggly eyes. Goggly eyes, I don't know. These are the wings, and this too is a matte mould, so I'm gonna be doing a UV covering. But look at the colours. Now, the UV resin is gonna amplify that colouring, and it is beautiful. Gloves are needed. Ta-da! Magic. So, a little bit of deburring to do, just the teeniest little bit, and that is on the wings. I did try my best not to go over too much with these, and I probably could have done a lot worse. So it was just the smallest amount needed. So I've sped this part up, but just to be, you know, just for the clarity, so you can see me getting on with it. It's quite easy. These deburring tools are great. Not everybody likes them, but I get on well with them, and I will go between using deburring tool and a craft knife. If it was a craft knife, I wouldn't have been filming it because I am a liability. I'm best to do those things when I can actually concentrate and look more closely at things. And just the little bits on this little froggo, it would just be easy to be honest, just to pull off with fingers. That's what I discovered. And again, those were just bits of glitter, basically no overage on this froggo, just a belly full of wormies. Sounds horrible, isn't it? Belly full of worms. So just clearing away that bit of mess with my handy roller, and we'll get on with doing some eyes on the frogs. I didn't want to put eyes in on this occasion because, as I said, I wasn't sure if moving the little wormies around would cause any issues. So just colouring those in, and it is going to take 1 to 2 layers as well, so I've done that now so I can set him aside whilst I do other things. And just to clear up any little mistakes or errors, you can just use some isopropyl alcohol. If you're quick enough, just use a wipe, of course. But using a micro brush and a little spray, just like I just did, is much easier, just to get those little mistakes cleaned up and away. So I'm going to use JDiction even UV resin, and this is going to have at least 5 minutes underneath the lamp so we don't have any sticky issues. I'm going to play you some music now whilst we get on with doing some of the resin bits and pieces with the UV.
In the marsh where moonlight gleams lives a queen like in my dreams, black and pink with butterfly wings, hops and flies and joy it brings. Frog queen dancing in the night, her colors bright, a wondrous sight. With a jump she takes the sky, magic in her butterfly. Lily pats her royal throne, in her realm she's not alone. Crickets sing their serenade underneath the glades arcade. Frog queen dancing in the night, her colors bright, a wondrous sight. firefly. Stars reflect in the water fair. Mystic breeze through evening air. She's a wonder, she's a dream. Reign supreme in pond soft gleam. Fireflies light up the dark. Scenting whispers from the park. Hops and flies and spreads her charm. Wrapped in nature's tender arm. Mystic breeze through evening air. She's a wonder, she's a dream. Reign supreme in pond soft gleam. Fireflies light up the dark. And yet in whispers from the park. Hops and flies and spreads her charm. Wrapped in nature's tender arm.
So once the eyes are more or less dry, I also put some UV resin over them too. It just works better. It looks better, in my opinion. And excuse me while I try and figure out the right way round to put the wings. I think I'm absolutely correct in these positionings. I think if I tried putting them the way I first originally looked, it would have been upside down. So Mr. Goblin confirmed too that this was in fact the correct way for the wings by the looks of it. So how it's easy way to attach is just putting a blob of the UV resin on the top and the underneath. I did this recently with the Froggy FriYAY, and this little guy, this little legend guy maybe, I don't know, much the same. And I'm just going to build up a little bit on it. And you can see me, I keep pressing, because I've also UV resined the little froggo there. I'm making sure it has its, a good, like 5 minutes. Yeah. So I'm building up the UV resin around these wings to make sure they are absolutely secure and I'm happy with them. And we're going to be covering them as well, so there's not going to be any unsightly big blobs. I can't speak, apparently. Oh, if you've been with me a while, you know that I often have my teeth full out while I'm trying to talk. And just a disclaimer, I don't have false teeth. I'm just saying. So happy with that. So I'm going to do some more UV resin underneath, and as well as using the torch, Froggo will also get a blast underneath the lamp as well. So it's going good, isn't it? We're enjoying this. I quite enjoy creating these fairy tale Froggos with wings. Imagine if they could fly. It'd freak a lot of people out, wouldn't it? I'm amazed at the amount of people that aren't fond of frogs. I just think they're cool. They're cute. I'm not saying that I want one on me. I'd probably freak out if it jumped. But I'm not scared of them. But I appreciate, you know, not everybody likes. But imagine if they did fly. Yeah. Anyway, so just as I said, I'm building up. So I directed the UV resin to flow off the wing and drop down then onto the body of the frog, and that's just to make sure that those wings are definitely not going anywhere. The shape of the mould for these wings I found on Amazon. I was impatient and I didn't want to have to wait for anywhere else. You know, Amazon Prime is great. I ordered it and it came the next day. It is a fondant mould, but it's worked great and I'm quite happy with the size. I wasn't sure when it arrived. I was like, oh, I've done it again. I've ordered, should have looked. But no, I think this is a really good size actually for this mould. So these are my neon nail decorations. You can get them from Amazon, you can get them from Temu. I think the price, if you want them sooner, I think they're only around $3.99 from Amazon. And if you got Prime, happy days, you're gonna get it, you know, really quickly. Otherwise it's a couple, like £1 maybe just over £1 for them from Temu. I can't quite remember, but if you're happy to wait, then obviously do that. But these are great. I used them on the last froggo with wings, and it's a really lovely little barrier where the wings meet the body of the frog. So look at him, he's all shiny. To be honest, I think that he did actually look okay without the UV coating, but we're going to be doing a little extra with that froggy in a minute as well. So just building up, and of course the resin's going to move, so that's why I'm acting quite quickly. I kind of want it to look like it's draping like around the wings as well, because I will be putting it slightly underneath. Is that needed? Possibly not. But I like it like that. I do like the finer detail. So we're going to go for a gold crown because there's a lot of gold element inside the glitter and on the wings. Because obviously I took inspiration for the colours of the wings from the colour of the glitter inside the frog. Hey, I do make sense sometimes. That's cool, isn't it? So as you can see, I'm just getting some of that glitter. That's not glitter, is it? Those like nail art pieces underneath the wings of the frog as well. I just think it's pleasing to the eye. For me in particular, I don't know how anybody else feels, but I like having little bits of detail in places that you may not always see. But if someone picks it up and looks at it, they'll, you know, I think you just think it looks better. And it's quite easily done with the UV resin, and it's quite light. And this stuff, because it's neon as well, you're gonna get a glow. And it was then that I realised that the lighter green wormy that's inside this froggo actually glows up as well, and so do their eyes. So the things like that entertain me no end. I love stuff like this. I can't help it. I really do. I think it's awesome and it's fun. I like fun. So they're just going around there. I was tempted to put some of these little these glowy bits around his, like by his eyes and stuff, but I thought less is more. Don't overdo it. So that's lovely. I'm really pleased with that. The wings look really cool. And there's Froggo. And Froggo needs a crown. Words. I remember when I used to be able to speak and not trip over my own words. Happy days. But there you go. So just using the torch just to make sure he doesn't slip off anywhere that I don't want it to. Nobody wants a crown between his eyes. He wants to be just above. And Froggo gets to go underneath the lamp. So this little guy is also going to get some of those neon treatments, and we're going to go for this lovely purple, because there's, I don't know if you can see it, but in the fuchsia flakes that we used in the frog, there is purple and pinks. Obviously they're not as bright as these ones, but this, you know, contrasting with the darker is going to look really, really nice. And it's going to make this Froggo look a little bit more interesting. You know, we're not going to absolutely cover the frog, but we're going to add, like I'm doing right there, a little bit on the thighs, on the tummy, just a bit on the head, and I thought, oh, just, you know, a little sprinkling on his nose too, and I think that's great. It adds a little bit more interest to this froggy, although I still think he was lovely regardless, but I really love this kind of thing. And again, they're neon, so they're gonna glow up, and the glowing up is fun. Now I pulled out this little sunflower and I decided to give this little froggy a flower ring. No idea what inspired it. I just thought of it suddenly when I saw them sitting there. At first I did consider putting it on the little frog, like on the little frog's head, almost like a crown. But I think the colour, I didn't, you know, after thinking about it, I was like, nah, less. But I really like it on this Froggo. So here we are. They've both had their full UV resin lamp in. I forgot what I was saying, and that just sounds silly, but I'm sticking with it. So they are fully cured, and I think that little froggy looks ace. And here we are. How gorgeous. I'm really pleased with that. I hope you like her. Look, you can still see them. There's their eyes. So fun. So cute. Eyes are good as well. Eyes are looking really good. Really pleased. And as I mentioned, because there's neons involved, you know, under UV lighting, I'm trying to show you. It's a bit too light in my studio, but you can see it. You get the idea that they glow up, including little wormy in there, the lighter green one, which is really cool. So that's a very a happy little accident. I like that. Just in case you couldn't see, I thought I'd try another one. You know I'm obsessed. I love bright things. And I just think that looks awesome on that froggy in the, you know, with the comparisons. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. And by the way, this little guy with Rufus, his name is Gus Gus. We've adopted him and he's going to live with Gus Gus. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're inspired. And I hope you check out everybody else's collaborations for Froggy Friday. Love you and stay weird.
Colors and swirls. Nerdgoblin art draws a magic worlds, with foxes that prance and badgers that dance. A whirlwind of dreams with a single glance. Gerald the alligator grins so wide. In enchanted waters he loves to hide. Dragons breathe wonder with flames so bright, each creature born from a magic night. Nerdgoblin paints life in every brush. Animals frolic in a vibrant rush. From canvases to tales they leap, in a realm where fantasy meets deep. The studio's alive with swirling paint. Creatures so pure they need no saint. Sketches of foxes with tails of light. Badgers with moonlit fur in flight. Gerald floats in a stream of dreams. Dragons shimmer with the offers a warm embrace. Nerd Goblin paints life in